I just finished up Lost via Domus for the Xbox 360. Wrote a review of it. You can find it on the site. Not great at all.
Yeah.
Best thing I can say about it is it's mad easy points if you're a points kind of guy.
Well, yeah, and you slid this game my way, where it sits now with CSI, which I'm currently playing, and Jumper, which I have not started on yet.
Oh yeah, I gotta stop giving you points games if you're not gonna play them immediately.
Oh, I'm gonna play them.
Okay.
I just you've passed me too many all at once.
True.
So I need to make that happen. But
ease off on that. So yeah, the Lost game, it's kind of stupid, because it's all about this character they made up, and they just kind of like throw him into the story.
Right.
So it's
like, what if there was another guy and he was a photographer?
I mean, I can understand why they would have to do that, because like, just the mythology is so tight with the characters, like the core characters on the show,
that they couldn't just go off in some weird direction.
Yeah, you couldn't just like, all right, here are the other adventures of Jack, because you pretty much see everything Jack's doing. Which also makes it weird for whenever your character interacts with other characters, because you're like, wait, how come I never heard about any of this stuff if it's happening right in the middle of all the high drama of the show?
That'll be explained next season, bro.
I'm sure I could go find a Lost wiki entry somewhere that totally explains how it
all this
figures
stuff.
in. And
they should have made this game where you play as the smoke monster. You should just play as the smoke monster.
That would be pretty good. I will say the smoke monster doesn't look bad, and neither does the jungle.
Smoke monster. I've never seen Lost. I don't intend to start watching it.
Yeah, then you're going to be so totally confused by this game, because it is made for people who watch a lot of Lost. Like, there will be little cues. You'll see something like, oh, okay, there was that explosion just then, which is when they were blowing open the hatch, which means that this is where you are in the storyline. But since they never say anything explicitly, you'll have no idea, like, why was there just that explosion? I don't know. So it's, in that regard, totally exclusionary.
Well, that's kind of cool. I think that there's something to be said for making a product that is that goes off the deep end and is explicitly for a certain audience, rather than doing all the hand-holding and saying, like, well, this just happened, and just explaining every single thing to death, which tends to alienate the people that are super fans of a thing. I mean, the only people that are going to play a Lost game are people that know what the hell's going on with Lost.
Yeah, I guess that's not my primary issue with it. It's just more...
It's just that
it's not that good.
Yeah.
It's like they have some good ideas. It's like, okay, we'll have this puzzle-solving stuff, and we'll have this part where you have to run from the smoke monster, and we'll have you go through caves.
Smoke monster. I just love the idea of a smoke monster. Like, this whole show, like, hearing you describe the show to me...
Yeah.
Over the past day or so, it just sounds like someone took like season 2 of Twin Peaks off the deep end and just is now just inventing a billion different things that have no hope of ever wrapping up in a satisfactory fashion.
That's kind of my sensation of it. Like, in the past 2 seasons, it's definitely turned into that, which is disappointing, because after the first season, like, the producers came out and said, yeah, we're not going to fall into the X-Files trap of building up all this mythology without ever explaining anything.
Yeah, and then you told me that there's a guy who's invisible on the show. Like, what the hell?
And it's like they're just throwing every single, like, just played out sci-fi thing. It's like, oh, there's magic, or there's that guy has telepathy, or there's time travel, or ooh, magnetic fields. And like, ooh.
Magnetic fields are real, man. I'm sorry to have to spring that on you, but those actually happen.
No, it's a myth. That's a myth perpetuated by scientists.
That's the smoke monsters at the North Pole right now.
Actually, yeah, and they, in the show they do stuff like they'll cut away to the North Pole and there's something happening there, and then they'll cut away to the desert and you'll see like something that relates to the island, and it's like, ooh, what does that mean? I don't know, because you never tell me, Lost. Thanks. I actually got into several heated arguments about this recently with some of our engineers and even my roommate.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, no, what are you talking about? It's gonna... I'm like, nah, dude, this is just gonna...
Whatever.
Keep going up its own butt, and it'll never... There's no way. They have so many weird loose ends that there is absolutely no way that show is gonna wrap up satisfactorily, so... but, yeah.
I will never know.
You'll never know, and I'll watch it, and I'll go, meh, I was right. Or I'll be wrong. I would love to be wrong about this. I would love to have J.J. Abrams say, all right, check it out, dude.
This is what we were thinking all along.
We were thinking this all along. I mean, supposedly they like came up with like a Bible of what their major plot points were going to be at the beginning of the show, and like how that would run over a 6-season run for the show. But I don't know. I just don't know.
What is this? What is the smoke monster?
We don't know. We don't know.
All right.
It's a monster. Like for the first season, they showed people looking at the monster without showing it, and they showed like from the monster's perspective. And then whenever anyone would ask, "What did you see?" no one would answer. That's the thing that makes me most. That's the thing that makes me most crazy about that show is no one ever talks to each other, and when they do, they speak in ellipses. They always leave out the most important pieces of information. So it's like
watching The Wonder Years without the narration.
So,
like that video. Yeah.
So if two people are talking, they'll both know what they're talking about, but they won't include the viewer because they'll leave out the bits like, "Ooh, I wonder what they're talking about." And it's just, I feel like that show just jerks you around nonstop.
Yeah.
As does the game. So in that regard, it's perfect.